Stay at my motherfucking. Hey, stay at my motherfucking. That song stuck in my head because that's how I was feeling last night, yo, for real. Oh my gosh, yo. I can't believe this. It's like, how do I allow myself to be put in situations, yo? I think it's because I'm a very spontaneous person. I like adventure. That's just my personality. So I'm open like that, right? So yesterday I had free tickets to go see the new movie Woman King, right? In Lower Manhattan, Union Square area. And I actually arrived there about an hour and 15 minutes before the movie was supposed to start, right? Now, granted, this is a free advanced screening of Woman King. It doesn't come out till next Friday, right? So I get that they told us in the email, first come, first serve, you know, not everybody is going to be able to be seated, da da da. So I get there, and when I get there, I see that, oh, okay, there's not much of a line. I see that there's not, I see your comment, Jason. He's talking about why I'm not at the FDMG festival. So I see that there's not, I'll get to that if you want to hang around. I'll get to that part. But that's not why I'm here. So I see that there's not much of a line outside the theater. So I'm like, okay, it was probably maybe like 20 people ahead of me. I'm like, okay, good. Like, I'm thinking that because I know how those events can be, especially free movie events, where even though you have tickets for it, you got to get there like super early, yo. And usually those lines are like wrapped all the way around the freaking building, right? So I'm like, okay, good. I'm in the clear. So we're waiting, right? We're waiting, and it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. It's like, approaching 7:30. And then the lady is letting some people in, a handful at a time, right? I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is not looking good, because she's looking at the line, and then she's at the front of the line, and she's only letting a few people in at a time. So I'm just like, am I gonna get in? Like, I really want to see this movie. And I'm like, I came here from where I live, Upper East Side. Granted, I came from work, so I work in a totally different borough. From work, I go home, drop off my bags, and I head straight to the movie theater. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna make it there. I'm gonna get there in time. Yeah, I'm timing everything out. So she comes, and she's like, I think it was like 7:30. She was like, at 7:45, I'm going to come back out and make an announcement, and I'm going to let some more people in, hopefully, if we have enough tickets. She was like, right now we're out of tickets, which didn't really make any sense. I'm like, if y'all out of tickets, then why are you going to say you're going to come back out to make another announcement to see if she's going to let some more people in? It didn't make any sense to me at all. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking my chances. I'm in line, right? Granted, I'm in line, and I noticed it was some pretty attractive men standing behind me, right? So I'm like glancing back, it's like, it's hard to ignore like a phenotypically attractive person. So I'm just like, all right. And I could smell like the aroma of the marijuana in the air. One of them was smoking some weed. Now, one of them, he was dark chocolate, over 6 foot tall, natural hair, right? He had like this like little fro thing going, kind of like how Dr. Umar Johnson hair is, right? The beard and everything looking smooth. So for me, I don't approach men. That's just my thing. Like, I may initiate conversation, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, go up to a man like, hey, and start flirting. Like, that's not my thing. So I'm standing there, didn't think much of it, right? So finally, it's like 5 minutes till 8 o'clock when the movie's about to start. She comes out, and she was like, sorry guys, unfortunately we're out of tickets. There are no more seats. But we have one more ticket. And she's saying that it's for a person who was by themselves, right? It's only one ticket left. Now, granted, in front of me, there are 6 people, 3 couples, right? Totaling 6 people. So I'm like, okay, I'm the first person in line who was a single party. That ticket's gonna go to me. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh, like anticipating it, right? Then she comes, and when one of the ones, she was like, who wants it? The person, one of the people in the 2 party before me, she raised her hand. She was like, I want it. But she's with someone. So it didn't make any sense for them to give it to her, right? So they were like, we're only going to give you this ticket if you are going to go in by yourself. She tried to sneak somebody else in. She tried to sneak her partner in. But they didn't allow him to come in, right? So she go in by herself. And I'm just like, listen, I felt really bad because I'm there. I don't like waiting, first of all, right? And so if I'm going to wait, like, it has to be well worth it. So I'm like, okay, we stood out here and we waited. And of course, I'm not the only person that got turned away. There's like other people behind me and the people in front of me that didn't get tickets. And so I'm speaking to those people, right? Because that's just the kind of person I am. I'm speaking to them. I'm just like, at first, even before they had made the final call to say that they didn't have any tickets, they weren't going to let us in. Like, I was even speaking to them, trying to encourage them, like, it's going to be okay. They're going to have enough tickets or whatever. We went to the front of the line because there was this lady, last night was fucking unbelievable. So there was like this party of two, this lady and her friend, older lady. One of them were in a wheelchair and like they had been there since 5 o'clock. Granted, like I said, I got there like an hour and 15 minutes before the movie starts. So we're talking about 6:45. The movie starts at 8 o'clock when I got there. They got there like at 5 and they still were outside waiting. And like she was like infuriated. She was like, I sit up here, got here on time, and my friend come here late. And if it wasn't for her, we would be sitting in there. Like, she was going off, and her friend looking at me. This shit was funny. Because I'm like talking to the people in line, just trying to pass time by and just trying to like ease the tension. Because shit was like, we were like on the edge. Like, we wanted to see this freaking movie. The movie looked really good according to the previews. So her friend who was in the wheelchair, she was like, she has no sympathy for me. She was like, you hear her? Like, she don't even care. I came all the way from Long Island. She was like, I couldn't even take the train. If I was able to take the train, I would have took the train. But you see, I'm in a wheelchair. Like, I just broke my ankle. Like, I hurt my leg and all this. She's like, I can't walk. And I had to call she said she had to call a taxi or whatever. So it was like difficult for her to get there. But she finally made it. And she, I guess, arrived later than what her friend expected her to, right? Her friend looking at her like, I don't give a damn. That's some New Yorkers for you. They don't even give a damn. You're emotionless. So that was that. And so I'm thinking like, okay, after they made the final call to say, okay, we don't have any tickets, right? I'm talking to other people like, what y'all gonna do? Like, this is a movie theater. I'm like, I don't want to sit up here and just waste tonight away, right? Like, I feel like I want to make it worth my while coming out here and waiting. Granted, like, it was only a few stops on the train from where I live, so it's not like it was a long commute to get there, but just the waiting, standing outside waiting for an hour, thinking that you're going to be able to see this movie. So I'm like, let's do something. So I go inside, and I was telling the lady in front of me, like, yo, I'm about to go inside, or the lady behind me, I'm like, I'm about to go inside to see what movie's showing. She was like, all right, good luck, good night. And it's funny because, like, she was the same person I asked to hold my spot. And I left to go grab some snacks from the store around the corner. So, like, her saying, like, have a good night, I just felt like it resonated the way she said it. I'm like, have a good night. I go inside, I'm seeing what movies that they're playing, seeing what the show times are. And then one of the guys, like, behind me, he's in, I don't know if you follow me in there, he was already in there, but he's, like, acting like he was looking at the movie screen, but then he's saying that he wanted to see a movie like at a later time. He really didn't even want to see a movie there because he had made it clear like he was like over that particular movie theater. He was like, the shit is fucked up. Like, I don't even want to be here, right? And I was like, where are you going to go? He was like, I'm going to go to the AMC around the corner. So I think that was Regal Cinemas, right, in Union Square. And I'm like, okay, what time is their next movie showing? What movie is it? And he said that it was Honk for Jesus, which I had kind of wanted to go see that movie, even though the preview seemed kind of corny. I'm just like, something to do, right? And that was showing at 8:10. So I'm just like, bet. So he was like, you want to go? He was like, you want to go? Like, I'll pay your way. And I'm just like, I can pay my own way. But I'm like, yeah, of course I want to do something instead of going straight home. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm out. You know, when you're out, you anticipate, you're looking forward to something, might as well do something, right? So we go around the corner to AMC, right? He pays, and I just thought this was interesting because, first of all, I'm like, I'm attracted to this guy. He's tall, he's dark skinned, on our way to the theater, we're talking, getting to know each other. He tells me his name. I tell him my name, right? He tells me his ethnic background. Turns out he's Ghanaian, right? And he's like, okay, okay. And he's like seeing what I'm wearing because I'm dressed like in this kente cloth, like outer kind of coat or coverall, and I have on this dress, like very colorful dress. Y'all know how I dress, right? And so he's like admiring what I'm wearing, and I'm just like, I'm feeling his vibe. But I can pick up that something kind of wasn't right. Something was not normal about this person, right? So, granted, we are trying to get to this AMC theater in time for the movie, right? Just to make, make something of our night and not have our night go to waste, given that, what happened at the other event. So I think that's what my focus is on, right? Even though I'm picking up on like his speech. I'm picking up on like the way he's speaking. I'm like, something is a little bit off. And y'all know, like, I do this for a living. Like, I'm a psychologist. I've done like hundreds and hundreds of evaluations on children and adults with autism, all different kind of disabilities and psychiatric diagnoses. So like, I can pick up on things, and I'm picking up on it, and I'm just like, okay, it's something there, right? I can't quite put my finger on it because like we're trying to get somewhere, but I'm listening to him speak. So as the night unfolds, I'm seeing more and more, right? Like he's revealing more and more about himself and his behavior. And it's just becoming ever clear that this dude definitely is neuroatypical, okay? So, how can I put this, right? This shit was so, like, I'm just like, what in the entire fuck? Granted, like, yes, I like to have a good time. I'm a spontaneous person. Like, I like adventure. But when I tell you, I was so fucking disappointed, on top of disappointment, so annoyed at just my whole entire experience last night. I'm just like, why didn't I just go home? Like, I just should have just went home after they said, like, they ran out of tickets, right? Here I am trying to be spontaneous and trying to make the best of my night and also see a movie that I was curious about seeing. So we go to this theater. Of course, he purchases the tickets. He buys 2 children tickets, right? Because you know those tickets are like somewhat lesser priced than adult tickets. He buys 2 children tickets. I don't think it's much of a difference. It's like a $3 difference, right? We go to the theater. We sit down. Yo, he got like 2 bags from Whole Foods, like a whole bunch of snacks. Like he came prepared. He came prepared. He had like fucking wine coolers and all kind of shit, snacks and cookies and popcorn and all this shit, right? I like that he was very generous. Let me just say that he was very like courteous, generous, offering me, some of his snacks. I'm just like, cool. He like didn't hesitate to offer, to buy the ticket. And that's one thing I do kind of like about New York City. Like people here in New York, contrary to what most people like to believe and say about New Yorkers, like they're pretty friendly. At least that has been my experience, right? Like even when I first moved here, one thing I like is just like people are just very impromptu, very spontaneous. You can just be out and about, standing in line, and people will just introduce themselves. At least that's how it's happened to me. Introduce themselves and ask you like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" and want to hang out and like invite you, and they'll pay your way. Like this, just I don't know if it's other people, but this is just what has been my experience. So I do like that part about New York. It's very exciting. It's very fun. That's happened to me like on multiple occasions since I've been here in New York City, and yeah, I can say I appreciate that, right? But we in the theater and like we made it in time for the previews, and this dude running his mouth fucking millions of miles a minute. I'm not even exaggerating, yo. I'm just like, I said to him, I said, I hope you're not one of those kind of people that talk like all throughout the movie. And he laughed. He was like, it depends. I'm just like, please don't do that. Like, let's enjoy the movie, right? So the movie starts, dude still talking. He laughing at random shit that's not even funny. I'm just like, silently scratching my head like something something is a bit off. He's clearly socially awkward, right? So he just finds like everything, every moment of the movie so hilarious. He's eating the popcorn very messily, like dropping popcorn. He has a beard, right? Like I said, he's very like attractive, physically attractive. He has like he's collecting all these freaking pieces of popcorn, and it's like he's just eating like indiscriminately, like not even really paying attention, very carelessly, right? Just putting the popcorn, and it's just like his beard is collecting all the popcorn. He got popcorn all on his shirt. He chilled like he at home, very comfortable. In the theater had like recliner seats. Dude, very comfortable and shit like that, right? Dating night from hell. Yes, it was freaking from hell. Yo, I'm like, how did I get here? Because like for me, over the past couple of years, shall I say, I have been very low key. I've been more like career focused, just stacking my paper, just into myself, not really dating. Like I haven't had sex in almost 2 years now. Like I've just really been like just in my own zone, right? And I feel very comfortable and at peace. And I was reminded of the reason why I'm more guarded and more reluctant to go out on dates, even though of course I'm invited on dates by a lot of guys. Like I'm on a dating app, people ask me out, but I'm just like, I'm very guarded. And it's a reason why, and like last night reminded me like, okay, this is the fucking reason why. Okay, this is the reason why. Because I just do not mesh well with many different types of energies. I don't. And so dude is like, when I say he's like super comfortable, very poor boundaries, just like poorly related socially. He puts his arm around me. And I had to tapping his arm like, and moving his arm like, no. He was like, oh no, you don't want that? I was like, no, I'm not a touchy-feely type of person, which I am not. And especially like, yo, we just met. This is like, we met impromptu yesterday. He's putting his arm around me, and then I push his arm off, and he takes it off, and then he puts his hand. So he feels like, okay, if I don't want his arm around me, then maybe the hand is okay to touch me. So he's touching me like with his hand. I'm moving his hand like, no, right? He offers me a freaking, some type of drink. I can't remember the name of it. Some fucking white bear claw, wet white claw, some shit like that. He offers me one of those, and it's in a can, 5% alcohol. I'm just like, what is this? Never had one of those before, but I took it. Tasting, it's like, how is this? All right. Right? So he's like trying to be funny. I get it, right? Like he's wanting to make friends. But the way he's going about it is just, like I said, awkward. Right? And it made me feel very uncomfortable. He's talking like very loud. That's how I know, like, okay, something is off. And even the way he talks, like his rate of speech is like most New Yorkers really do talk fast, but his, and it's very like mechanical and robotic-ish, right? So it's giving me autistic vibes, yo. And the fact that he's not able to like pick up on cues, like social cues, these are like key indicators of like diagnostic criteria for autism. And so like I'm like, yo, this is a theater. People are quiet. People are watching a movie, and he's talking like loud as hell. Like he's the only one in the theater. So there's a couple in front of us. They get up. Like first of all, they kept kind of fidgeting and talking to each other and kind of looking back at us, and then eventually they get up. And then I'm looking at them as they get up. I'm like, okay, why are they leaving? And the guy looks at us, and he was like, thanks for being loud. I'm like, yo, I didn't even say nothing. I'm just looking at dude, right, that I was with, and I kind of smiled. They went to go sit behind us. They couldn't tolerate like his distraction, his disruptions. He kept like laughing and talking very loudly and adding his own commentary essentially to the movie. Yo, dude's like in his own world. Like I think like I'm in a world of my own, right? Because I know I can be a bit socially awkward, but yo, his is like at the 10th degree for real. I'm just like, seriously. So we finished the movie, movie's over. He asked me how I was like, it's all right. It's a bit kind of weird, and not just like the ending of it, because the ending was kind of not what we expected. Kind of ended as a cliffhanger. But I said the whole entire movie was weird. That should have been a fucking a sign right there. The movie is weird. His ass is like really enjoying the fucking movie like it's goddamn like it's a top rated fucking movie. I'm like, that should have been a sign right there. So he invites me. He's like, you still want to hang out? He's like, I want to hang out more. I'm not ready to go home. I'm not ready like to let you go. And I'm just like, okay, like it is kind of late though, but I guess I'll hang out a little bit more. So he was like, you want to go for drinks? I'm just like, I'm kind of tired, you know, not really I sip my wine here and I'm not really a big drinker. So it's like, okay, you want to go to a park? And of course New York City has a lot of parks. So we go to Washington Square Park. I'm like, why didn't I just go home? Right? It's like a big part of me want to go home. A big part of me just like, oh, you know, break away from your normal routine, right? Just do something different, you know. It can be exciting. You can learn a lot, right? It's all about the experience kind of thing. So I'm following that part of my mind, right? That's telling me to break away from my normal routine. We go to the fucking Washington Square Park. We sit down. He's like, I gotta go. I gotta pee. I'm like, why do you pee? Like, cause I actually after the movie theater, right after the movie ended, I actually used the restroom, right? Like, hold on, I gotta use the restroom. He's like, okay, I'll wait for you. And I'm like, why didn't you use the restroom when we were at the movie theater before we left? He was like, oh, I didn't have to go or something like that, right? Now, granted, when we got to the Washington Square Park and the movie theater, not that far apart from each other. So I'm just like, it's kind of awkward, right? So he was like, oh, I'm about to go find somewhere to pee. This dude fucking goes off near a tree and pees like it's nothing, right? I'm just like, oh gosh. Then he walks back towards me. I'm like, I hope you have some hand sanitizer. Like, you need to wash your hands, right? So he was like, all right, let me go find a bathroom. He goes to go look for a bathroom just to wash his hands. I'm just like, this dude is like, he was like, here, I'm going to leave my bag so you wash this. I'm about to go to the bathroom. He goes to find a bathroom, right? And then he finally come back like 5-10 minutes later. I'm like, were you able to wash your hands? He was like, yeah. Dude, it's like, it's funny like the way he walks. Like, he walks like kind of on his toes too. Just awkward as hell. Walking on his toes, like, coming back. And so he sits down and he's like trying to inch towards me. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want you like close to me. Like, step back. Like, scoot over somewhere on the bench. So when I tell you, okay, let me rewind. Before we got there, on our walk from the theater to this park, I got a chance to get to know a little bit more about him, and he's showing himself, yo. When I say he asked me like hundreds of questions, you know, they say 21 questions to get to know, yo. I don't even like 21 questions because I feel like it's so redundant and it's not organic conversation, right? I get that he's trying to get to know me and just build rapport, build a relationship, but I'm like, that's not how you do it. Like, he was asking like rapid fire questions, back to back to back, asking me questions about celebrities, right? And I'm wondering like, why is he asking me? Like, I'm not a person to be following celebrities like that. I don't really watch TV like that's not my thing. So this guy is a model. I was curious to see like, what do you do? Turns out he's a model. He just graduated from this kind of prestigious university. Dude is smart. I can tell that he's smart because usually people who are high functioning on the spectrum usually are very smart. They have a lot of strengths and abilities, but at the same time, like, it's something a little bit off about them neurologically. And you can definitely see it in their behavior, especially in their communication. And so I'm just like, cool. And the things that he's asking me about it and want to like start conversation about, I have absolutely no freaking interest in, right? I'm still asking myself, why am I continuing to do this? So we're sitting down and we make it to Washington Square. We, you know, talking. He's asking me questions and I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired. I'm actually about to head home. Yo. He's like, all right, I'll come with you. I'm like, no, you're not gonna come with me. You're not coming with me. Like, I'm gonna go to the train. And I say, where do you live again? And he's like, Jersey. I'm like, okay, which train do you take to get there? And he's telling me which train. I'm just like, all right, then you're gonna take your train, I'm gonna take my train, and we're gonna part ways, right? I didn't mind, like, I don't want to make it seem like I was completely repulsed at this dude, right? Because he has a lot of, like, good qualities. Like I said, initially I was physically attracted to him. He's Ghanaian. We had exchanged social media, Instagram. So it turns out, like, I'm scrolling through his thing, and I see, like, he's pro-black. He seems to, have, like, a degree of political consciousness and awareness, which to me is an attractive trait. He's physically fit. Like, you can tell he takes care of himself, He has nice skin, clear skin, all of that. I feel like, because for me, I'm a conversationalist. So, of course, I like to talk, but the cadence, like, of his speech, it's just off. It's not like, communication is supposed to be a dance, and it's just like, his is definitely clearly off. And I asked him when we were sitting down at Washington Park, I say, how do your friends see you? He's like, I don't really have that many friends. Aha, like, everything is lining up, right? The questions I'm asking and the response he's giving me is pretty much confirming my assumptions about him, right? So I say, with his talks, he's not even aware, he's not even, like, consciously aware that he's talking too much. He's not even picking up cues. It's like, I have to tell him, right? People who are neurotypical, right, where their brain functions like most people's brain functions, they can pick up on nonverbal cues and messages, right? He's not picking up on any of my nonverbal. He's like just continuing to go on and annoy the shit out of me. I have to verbally tell him, slow down, like, just stop, okay? Like, can we get at least 2 minutes of silence? I did that so many times, like, intermittently throughout the night. And I'm asking myself, like, could I actually truly be friends with a person like this? I don't think I have to, like, if I could not tolerate this person on the first freaking day that we meet, there's no way I'm not even about to sit up here and fake and pretend, right? Now, and another part of me was just like, but he's an interesting person. Like, he's a model, and he does, like, a lot of things. And, like, I looked at his, social media. Like, he knows a lot of celebrities in real life, He has, like, certain ties with people. I'm just like, okay, that can be pretty peculiar, right? He does genuinely seem like a really, like, interesting person to get to know, right, and to relate to. But I don't think I can't tolerate that. Yeah, I can't. Like, he talks too much, and like I said, he does not pick up on nonverbal cues. Like, I have to, like, verbally tell him to stop and to say pause it and say, can we just have 2 minutes of silence? I hate when people call me. Oh my gosh, I hate when people freaking call me. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. I hate when people call me when I'm on live, yo. I just hate when people call me, period, when it's not even planned. Like, why are you calling me? I feel like it's an abuse of your privilege to have my phone number. But anyway, what was I saying? So, yeah, like, I'm trying to say, like, yo, should I even, like, continue, like, conversation, friendship, like, get to know this person? Because if I have to, like, tell you to, like, let's just silence, like, it's too much, it's late at night, yo, dude is, like, on fucking 150 energy wise, and we're talking, like, it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I know there's a age difference, granted, like, I'm 11 years his senior, okay? But, he looks like physically, he looks like he could be in his 30s, right? Mid 30s, shall I say. Like, he's well kept. Physically, he looks very mature, but emotionally, shall I say, like, he's lacking in that level of maturity. And he just has some neurological deficits that it's not his fault. I get it, That's just the way he was born. And he did say that he was in special classes growing up, yeah, learning disability. I'm like thinking to myself, like, yo, you got more than a learning disability. You have autism. I don't want to like ask him directly, like, have you ever been diagnosed with autism? But I'm like, I take mental health very seriously. Like, I work in mental health. I'm a clinical psychologist. I work in a psychiatric state facility, hospital, with people who are severely mentally ill. People who have schizophrenia, bipolar, they hear voices, they have the actively psychotic, this is what I do, and I definitely have a passion for it. And I feel like, if you have any kind of mental disturbance, right, and you are wanting to establish some kind of interpersonal relationship with someone, we are adults. It's different if you're a child, right? You're still developing, you're still learning yourself, but come on. We are adults. You need to have self-awareness, right? And take ownership and responsibility for whatever mental disability that you have or emotional disability you have, Get help for that, I'm just thinking, like, if we are friends, I kind of feel bad for him when he said, like, he don't really have really that many friends. It's like I only got like 1 or 2 friends. It's like he sounds like he don't really have any friends, and I can tell because he latched on to me like very easily. Like, he has attachment issues and abandonment issues, I'm sure he's been through this situation many a times where he, did the same thing he did to me, like reaching out, wanting to establish a relationship, a friendship with someone, whether male or female. And, like, on the surface, he looks kind of normal. He looks like the average person. But then as you begin to speak with him and talk, you're like, okay, yeah. And you don't want to be mean, right? Because it's just, he's a human being like anyone else. But I'm considering my own mental well-being, right? And I know who I am as a person. And I know my tolerance. I'm like, I don't have tolerance for that. I just don't. I don't care if you have a mental disability. Yes, I work with people like that, and I do have patience in working with them. But that's on a professional level. We're talking about on a friendship, personal level, where I have a choice who I choose to invite in my personal life, especially dating life. Like, he's interested in me on that level, right? And I kind of was interested in him and on that level too. But then I'm like, definitely not now after this, because it's like, hell, I'm thinking about like all these different scenarios that could possibly play out. And he actually mentioned, he was like, oh, so what do you think about bad kids? And I think he was saying this just to get because like I said, I think that people who are like on the spectrum and who are higher function, they are very intelligent, right? So he's asking me questions to kind of gauge, I think, like, how I am as a person and how that would impact our potential relationship. So he's like, what's your take on bad kids, and he asked me, did I get beaten growing up? And he told me that he was a bad child and he got in trouble in school and, all of this, and he was in special classes, and then that conversation kind of evolves into like getting into physical altercation with adult friends and, in adult relationships. And he's like, what do you think about men, like hitting women? And I'm just like, and then he's asking me like, would I be involved with somebody? I'm like, no, absolutely no. He was like, well, how do you know? He was like, people, they change their colors, one way they present this way, another time they may present this way, and like you learn things about them and you may not. Like, no, I will know. And I think I talked his ass up. He just sent me a message. I'm like, no, I know, because this is what I do. I can't emphasize this enough. So I'm very keen to this. And aside from it being my professional work, what I do professionally, I just know people, right? So like that's why I'm very guarded. Like I'm this way for a reason, And there are very few people that can penetrate my personal space like that. I set boundaries, clearly. So that's definitely not going to happen. But like when I'm talking with a person, it's not so much what they say, but what's motivating them to say that. Like, why would he ask that question in the first place, right? So that to me is a red flag. The fact that he's even asking a question like that. Because I think he does have a degree of self-awareness. Like, he knows, that he has issues. I think that it has been a struggle for him throughout his life. And I think that it's sad, you know. I think that he's come to a level of acceptance of it, though. You can tell, like, he realizes, like, he's different from most people, right? He has this disability. It negatively impacts his ability to be able to form healthy, sustainable relationships with people. That's why he doesn't have, you know, any friends. And it's disappointing. It's sad. You know, it's a sad reality to know that, you know, you have this problem that you really can't control. Like, you were born this way. Like, it's a neurological problem, right? It's a deficit with his brain, yo. It's like, you can tell he has, like, an excess of hormones, like, just firing. I'm just like, yo, you're hyperactive, right? Dial it down. I'm having to tell him this, like, periodically. I felt like I was babysitting. That's just the feel that I got. I felt like I'm a parent with this adopted child that has somehow been dumped into my care, and I'm having to, like, tell this person what to do, what not to. Like, I can't. Like, I feel like, yeah, there are moments that, you know, it's advantages and disadvantages. There are moments, like, it could be fun. We can, you know, he seems like a very fun person, right? He's comical. Like, he's learned to kind of adapt to his issue that he has. And his way of kind of coping with it and navigating life is just through laughter and just having fun, right? So I get it. He smokes weed. He likes to party. Like, he says, he describes himself as like a social butterfly. He initiates conversations with people, and he was asking me, like, yo, when I say he was asking me hundreds of questions, asking and telling me a whole bunch of shit, like, it's just information overload. I'm just like, okay. So he's like, yeah, can you tell me what you think about this? He was like, one day I was walking and I saw this couple, this white man with his wife, and they were talking. But he says that he said hello to them. They ignored him. He kept saying hello. Hello, hello, how are you? To the point where the husband got angry, right? And he yelled, he was like, leave me the fuck alone! You know, New York is y'all. Get the fuck out my face, like, really loud. And so he said, like, he was shocked that the dude responded to him. Like, he literally, like, was shocked. And he was like, do you think that the guy was wrong for doing that? I'm like, no, because you were invading their personal space. He was like, but I was just trying to be nice and say hello. Yes, but you see what I'm saying? Like, you can tell clearly something is a bit off, right, with this guy. Because the normal person, yes, you can be a friendly person and want to say hello, but you are able to have respect for people's personal space, and boundaries, right? And you can pick up on cues, and you see that they're not responding behaviorally, non-verbally. Like, this guy is not even making eye contact. He didn't even look your way. He's continuing conversation with his wife. That is a cue that he is ignoring you, or doesn't, you know, is not able to respond to you, right? So just let it go. Like, he just kept saying hello to this person, right? And it's just like last night, like, he kept violating my personal space by wanting to put his arm around me and, like, coming close to me and touching. I'm like, yo, keep your hands to yourself. I do not want to be touched. Right? It's sad. It's unfortunate, because I realize there's a lot of people like this, right? Millions of people like this, especially in America, that, you know, they really can't help it. It's just who they are, how they are. And I'm just like, damn, that was a night from freaking hell. Because he actually, yeah, I felt like I was exerting way too much energy to set boundaries with this person, when I could have just took my ass home and said, you know what, I don't want to see a movie tonight, like, I'm going home, right? And the funniest thing, he had a female friend that showed up. Because he, like, first he came by himself. He was standing in line by himself. And then a woman shows up and joins him. Very beautiful woman, you know, kind of voluptuous, light-skinned woman. Showed up, and they were talking. And I noticed that. I'm just asking myself, what happened to your friend that met you when we were in line, at the other theater? And he was like, oh, she went home because she said she was tired. I'm like, interesting, right? I don't know how well they know each other or whatever, but I'm just like, but he says he doesn't have that many friends, like one or two. He's usually like alone, and he's trying to make friends. And so I feel like looking back at this situation, I think that he definitely will make a good therapy client. Not mine, because no, but just thinking like objectively speaking, I think like, yeah, he definitely would make a good therapy client, because I feel compassion to want to help a person like that, and I wouldn't mind working with a particular client like that, taking a person like that on my caseload, let's say in private practice. But in terms of relating to that person, like on a personal level or dating, like I don't have the patience. And if I was, right, because I know me, like I can be this kind of out of the box kind of person. So I'm open-minded in that respect, right? I'm like, if I was to take him on as a friend, this dude will have to go to therapy, and he gonna have to get on some medication, because I don't have I can't have the patience, I don't have the tolerance. And going back to that conversation where he was kind of alluding to, oh, if a man hits a woman, what's my thoughts on it? And he's saying that he would hit the woman back, and they both would be in jail. And he's like, what do you think about that? I would not be in that situation. Like, you don't know me. I would not be in that situation. He's like, well, no, I'm telling you, okay? No, that's not even going down like that, right? But that was that. Yeah, definitely, clearly, Night from Hell. Listening to this story, like you listen to this story, it may not seem that bad, right? Listening to this story, you listen to the story from the outside looking in. But me being in that situation, and I think for people, especially parents who have children who have a clear official diagnosis of autism, why is she messaging me? See, this is what I say to myself. Then they know how difficult it is, and even with me doing evaluations with children who have autism, like it's challenging to say the least, right? So I felt much compassion for parents of those children who I evaluated, they were applying for services through OPWDD, and part of that process they have to do a psychological evaluation and psychological testing. Like, it gave me, like, my experience doing that just gave me more compassion for those parents, because I'm like, that you have to have patience and love, a lot of patience, like, to deal with that properly, right? And give them the proper care and treatment that they deserve, just like a normal typical child. Because it's constant redirection, it's constant setting boundaries, and that's exhausting. And so to have a friend like that, I can't do it. And I came close to, like, kind of making friends with someone similar to that. And this guy, he is an artist. He's like well known on YouTube. He performs and makes music and all of that, right? But he has ADHD. I think it's actually more than ADHD. I think people kind of like minimize their symptoms, minimize the severity of their symptoms and their diagnosis. And so ADHD is like a lesser kind of form, less stigmatizing, I would say, form of like autism. But I'm like, nah, I even told, like, that's autism. And he carried this diagnosis since, like, he was a child. But I had to, like, even cut him off because, yeah, just weird. I don't even want to get into that. Just weird. It's just because weird. And I just don't have, like, I don't have the patience. I just can't. I cannot. I can't do that. I felt bad, though, because, like, we had our good conversations. We had our good moments, you know. And dude is very successful, like, for what he's doing, you know. Like, he has a lot of subscribers on YouTube, gets millions of views on his, like, all of his videos. Like, he's very talented, very smart. He wanted to, like, take me out and do things with me, and I just felt like it's the social awkwardness. It's the, and you know, and even aside from a person have a diagnostic label of autism, aside from that, just like men, in terms of dating in general, like, I have a certain kind of preference of a man that I like, right? I said this before, like, I like dominant men. I like just like men who are alpha, right? A lot of people know what alpha is. Let me grab some water. A lot of people know, like, what an alpha man is. An alpha man is a man who is leader of his pack, right? He's a leader of the pack. He very intelligent. And intelligence is like multidimensional, right? Different types of intelligence. But I mean, like, intelligent all the way around, not just like having this cognitive ability or verbal ability, but, you know, political intelligence, like, all the way around. Interpersonal intelligence. And yeah, that guy, the other guy, the YouTube person, he just lacked intelligence in other areas that just kind of annoyed me. And I'm like, nah. I think it could have been, like, it could have been a good relationship. We know, D, we get it. Alright, so yeah. Yeah, just annoying. I can't deal with that annoying shit. And having to, like, be told what to do. If I'm in a relationship with a guy and it feels like I'm your mother and I'm telling you what to do, like, nah. That shit is draining. I cannot. Okay? Just can't. But yeah, going back, yo, you asked me why I am not at the festival. You just reminded me that the festival is happening, right? Of course, I have been aware that the festival is happening leading up to now, but I have my own life. Let's be clear about that. And I never intended to go to the festival. Why aren't you there? I never intended to go. Honestly, I've kind of, like, Dr. Umar Johnson is still on my radar, but I'm kind of over him. Not over the movement, but over him. If that makes sense. I'm over him. Like, I can't even get through his videos anymore because he repeats himself over and over again, and that to me is annoying. It's annoying, and I feel like it's just rhetoric. He's saying the same thing over and over again. I do not like men who are disrespectful towards women. And so when he made that video regarding this woman who was at the FDMG festival last year, who came to FDMG, right? This is when he was in the gym and he was cleaning the backboard to the basketball goal, and she was like wiping the sweat, and apparently she had went on Tasha K and did an interview and was just telling, like, her experience and relating to Dr. Umar Johnson, her perspective on him and some things that he says. And I didn't watch the interview, but apparently I guess he got wind of it. He saw the interview. He didn't like it, so he did a live, and he was just bashing this woman and saying that, oh, she's, you know, kind of body shaming her and just being disrespectful. And I feel like honestly, that was a catalyst. Like, that was just a good, that was a situation that pulled out another part of who he is, the truth of who he is, right? I think, like, we go through things in life that, yes, may trigger us, but it pulls out that genuineness in us, right? That part that we try to, like, keep secret. We wear, like, this representative coat to kind of blend in and to paint this facade of who we want people to see us as. And I think he's kind of done that for so long, but then he has these experiences with women that he has had, like, personal interactions with, that he has expressed interest in. and apparently he wanted her to be like his mock wife, right, in the last FDMG festival. And it turned out she didn't do it. She wasn't able to. So he was disappointed at that. So it's like he'll get on here and say, X, Y, and Z about a woman, like bashing her, like, oh, she ain't even my type, like she ain't even got an ass and all this, that, and the other. But then, on the flip side, if you were to pull, let's say, their private messages, it's a completely different story, right? So that to me is like, that's a turn off. Like, I just feel like it's just too much scandal and things that to me I find very repulsive in a man. And I'm turned off. I've actually had a personal conversation with her. That was her just messaging me now. She's calling me, we've talked. So it's not just that, though. Let's be clear, right? It's not just that. It's a combination of things. And even I said, like, he blocked me, when I responded to his comments on, he refers to black people who claim, like, Native American heritage as pretendians, and I share with him, like, my mother's father is Native American. Of course, I embrace my Africanity. I'm a Pan-African myself. I'm pro-black, but, he just, that to me annoys me. And I feel like people are, like, too extreme in their views and perspectives, and that is a bit distasteful to me. I think that it's not that cut and dry when it comes to identity and politics. So I said what I had to say on that. Like, you typing a little bit too fast, so let me see, can I get your comments? You say over the crush. He's becoming, like, more and more less attractive to me, though. Like, what made him attractive? When he was really focused and serious about the mission. But when he starts to really reveal his personal attitudes on women, it just shows more of who he is, which I feel like is an unfit husband, an unfit father. That's not attractive. You may look up to him. That's your role model. But I think this is what it is that you don't have anyone else to look up to. It's just like kind of like the dope boys in the streets, right? If all they have to look up to is the OGs, then yes, they're going to hold them up to this prototype until they recognize that, okay, there are other people that have more upstanding qualities about themselves to look up to. I am not saying that he's a fucking dope boy necessarily, but he's not the epitome of, I think, leadership, if you ask me. What could make him that is if he actually was married, and he didn't have two different baby moms and abandoning his children, his family, essentially, that he created, and not owning responsibility for that, right? There's nothing, I think, more repulsive and unattractive as a man who does not take responsibility and attributes blame to a woman. I feel like that is really undeserving of my time and attention to that. But yeah. You say, what dominant man isn't quote unquote disrespectful? Slow down with your comments so I can get through. I think people misunderstand and misinterpret what they think dominance means, and that's unfortunate. People have a contorted perspective of what a lot of things are. And I think that's like the downside of social media, because people get wrapped up into what's popular. Just because something is popular, they think that, oh, this is right, this is the path to follow because this person is popular. They have thousands or millions of people following them and watching them. No. It's a lot of things that's popular on TV. Doesn't mean that it's good for your soul, though. So you have to have awareness. You have to have discernment to be able to tease apart. She didn't have any proof. I mean, I'm not about to go into all of that. And she tried to reach out to him since then. Well, listen, I don't know. You never know who's right, who's wrong. People can be confabulating the truth, to fit their agenda and what they have going on. You say she's trying to build a platform. Yeah, could be true. For me, though, because, I mean, so essentially, when she was at the FMG Academy last year and she was a part of his live and she was wiping the sweat, from his face, I was on that live and I had followed her at that time because I was just curious to see who she was. So I had followed her back then. And then fast forward to most recent, when he brought her up and he did the live video and he was body shaming and going off because he was really upset about the interview that she did with Tasha K, I reached out to her and I sent that link to her because she hadn't seen it. And I was like, wow, like this is unfortunate. And I felt bad for her, right? Given that she was on the receiving end of, him bashing her publicly like this and kind of like defaming her character and her reputation. And so I reached out to her and I messaged her and sent that. And she's like, oh, I didn't see this, right? And so from there, she was messaging me and, just expressing herself. And she expressed interest in kind of building with me. Now, y'all should know me about it. Anybody know me know, like, I am in a world by myself, right? I am not pressed for friendship. I am not pressed for anything, for views, for acceptance, for nothing, okay? Like, I mean, it may sound kind of pompous, but I don't need shit from anyone, right? I am good. I have a decent life. I'm well taken care of by myself. I'm decent. I'm good. So I feel like anything or anyone that wants to be a part of my life must be in addition to it, right? Must be an asset. A lot of people or things aren't that, right? People pull and take away from you. They're just like draining you of your energy, and I don't need that, right? You have to add to my life, not take away from it. So I saw that she's like, kind of social person, and I think she has her own show. So, and she's like, a businesswoman. Everybody has a business. Everybody wants to build. So she's like, inviting me to like network with her, and I'm not, I don't think she knows me quite well. So she's like, really kind of, she's really not, I won't say forceful, but kind of persistent in, her attempt to kind of want to network and build, which you say don't do it, which, you don't have to advise me. Listen, I have a mind of my own and instincts of my own, right? So I, she, called me. She said she wanted to talk. So we talked or whatever. And for me, I can have a conversation. I think people kind of be misled, unfortunately, by me having a conversation with a person. They think like, oh, like, we're cool, we're friends. Like, you have to know me as a person to truly know. Like, or you're going to find out, and then maybe your feelings might get hurt. I am not in a rush to make friends with anyone. I am in a world by myself. I'm not easily convinced or manipulated. So that's that. But I am curious. That's just like, that's me. Like, I have, going back to the story I shared about the freaking date from hell. Yes, I'm a part of a situation. Of course, I've had full control over everything that happened last night. So yes, it's a date from hell. And even though I said like, oh, how do I end up in it? Like, no, I know how to set boundaries. I'm a grown ass woman. I know how to definitely take care of myself. But yes, I sometimes, I'm curious to learn about people and to see their perspectives on things. And so my curiosity led me to, be open to a conversation with her, which I don't do. That's not really like me to kind of do that. But in that moment, I felt inclined to do that. She had called me from Facebook, which I hate when people do that. Right. And I think what it was, I think I pressed the wrong button somehow. There's like accept, decline. I think I accidentally accepted. I'm like, fuck, right? I didn't want to hang up. So I'm like, hi, hello. But I could barely hear because I don't have like the latest fucking phone. I'm not into all of the fucking iPhone. That's not my thing. I don't follow the latest trends like that. So I could barely hear her. And I said, if you wanted to talk, we can talk by regular phone. Let's just exchange fucking phone numbers, right? So I gave her my phone number, and, we talked on the phone for a while. And so from that, like, yeah, she called me yesterday, and you just calling me to, like, like, why did I give this person my fucking phone number? Like, I don't want to be rude. And I think she lives in New York City, too. I don't want to be rude, but I'm just like, what business do you have with me? Right? This is the reason why I don't do this with people, right? Because then it becomes controversy, right? And then people, they take that and they make it into something that is not, right? So, yeah, kind of clingy. You see what I'm saying? Like, just calling me, and then because I'm not answering the phone, she's like, are you okay? And it's like, how do you tell a person? Just like, you know what? I don't want to be friends. Like, we're not friends, I saw she went live, and I joined her live, and she was just like, hi, sis. Like, I mean, we sisters, right? But my world by myself is perfect, okay? Is perfect. Don't need no unnecessary drama, and I got the sense, like, even just from when I had that conversation with her over the phone, like, yeah, the drama queen. Don't need that. So I definitely can relate to Dr. Umar Johnson when it comes to protecting your circle, protecting your space, especially for him, because he has a lot to lose. He's invested in so much, especially building the FDMG Academy. And I saw the most recent update where he was able to have the old HVAC system removed, and he's getting the new HVAC system installed. So, like, yeah, I'm proud for him and for the movement. And I can definitely understand, like, the kind of level of protection that he needs, and the hesitancy that he kind of displays in bringing people around him in his inner circle, being very guarded. You have to be that way because, yes, people have their own agendas. People have ulterior motives, right? People are not in it for your best interest. And so you can learn a lot about a person just seeing how they talk about other people and how they handle conflict, right, with other people. And seeing how she went to Tasha K and said all these things, whether true or not true, the fact that she just, it happened, like, that to me is a red flag, right? And to see the way she talks about it, it's just like, and then she said that, well, they're cool now, and she called him, and I'm like, I don't know, for me, like I said, my life is peaceful. I don't need no drama. I don't want no parts of it, because, yeah, that's all I'm going to say, He got his HVAC. Where are you from? I am from Jacksonville, Florida. I live in New York City. You say you're crying, but yeah, you feel me? So, yeah, sometimes it's just best to kind of just stay by yourself, stay to yourself, because, yeah, people, yeah. And I've never really been that kind of person. Like, my personality, I wouldn't say it's antisocial, but I like to keep to myself. I've always been that way since I was a little girl. Like, I remember growing up in my household, my family members would be out in the living room socializing, and I would be away from all of that, in my room reading a book, like, in my own world. And I'm still that way. Fast forward 38 years later, I'm 38 till this day, and I feel most comfortable that way. Because I think I do that to protect other people. Because I know me. Yeah, I will fuck some shit up, my nigga. And I think that people just, sometimes they don't like have respect or respect boundaries, you know, don't have respect for you. They treat you how they've done other people. And I need to stay my ass out of prison. Okay? I need to stay my ass, have a clean record. I'm doing well. So I just know myself, right? And I know. When you know yourself, like, you know, you keep away from people sometimes because you know you can fuck someone, like, it could be deadly, okay? So, yes, I'm very comfortable by myself, you know, so even when I'm going out, like, I can go anywhere, everywhere by myself. I have my colleagues asking me, oh, you going to the movies by yourself? You going to out to eat? Yes. And I'm happy by myself. You know, sometimes I go live with you guys. Sometimes I don't when I'm out. But yes, I kind of prefer it, you know. So that's why I'm thinking, like, even back to the date from hell, it's just like, when I go to the movies with myself, I never had a bad experience because I'm by myself. And here I am going to the movies with some fucking random person and I have an awful experience. That's like traveling, you know. 2023, I'm definitely planning to travel because my salary is about to double, given that I'm about to be licensed as a psychologist. So I'm about to start traveling internationally, and I'm like, yeah, I think part of me is like, oh, I would like to go with someone, but nah, no. You ain't about to fuck up my shit. I'm going by my goddamn self. Okay, just like the way you are, truthfully. Yeah, go by myself. Don't freaking need no drama and none of that. People gossiping. You know, people trying to tear your fucking name down. Like, listen, I'm from the hood. Like, I haven't told my complete full story here. Most of us are from the hood. But I am from Jacksonville, Florida, okay? I grew up in the hood. May not seem that way because I'm college educated and all that. But, when it comes to dealing with drama and people, listen. We do things different, okay? We do the things completely different down there in Florida, especially Jacksonville, Florida, okay? And it's sad, you know, that you have to, it's that way, but it's just like, I'm just saying though. That's why I think I can relate to Dr. Umar Johnson, because he's from Philly. And so Jacksonville and Philly are known to be like the murder capital of fucking the United States. It's clear that's the reason why his father has this campaign with Stop Killing Us. A lot of murders, you know. People, it's like there are very few opportunities. There are very few resources, right? So we know when there's poverty, there's a lot of crime. People are just trying to survive any way they can, you know. There's a lot of violence. And I've been to school, like in growing up, my grade school, they had freaking metal detectors. It's like people go to school to fight. It wasn't no learning going on in the school. Okay, all black school, all black elementary, middle school, high school, people fighting every single day. Okay, the white teachers at the school, they would have assigned to teach classes there. Barely made it out. They barely freaking made that shit out, yo. You know, some would be crying. I remember I had to go and console the white teacher because she crying. She can't handle the damn project kids. Just too much, you know. So I'm come from the hood, and so I think like when people who aren't from, like, I think I get along, yes, with people who are from the hood, because it's like it's an unspoken like rule, right? It's an unspoken system. Like, we just get each other, you know. Some things don't have to be explained. Then you got people who just come from a different background, right? And they crossing boundaries, and it's just like, sit your ass down before you get motherfucking hurt real bad, right? Like I said, I don't want to go to jail, so I just stay by myself. Just because y'all had a conversation. Yeah, I picked up on that too, and that's the reason why, like, I'm following my instincts. Something like, even after, like, I got off the phone with her, because we only talked on the phone one time, I felt like, I don't want to do this. And then I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and I'm at work. I am actually at work doing a group therapy session with my patients, and my phone goes off. And I was so annoyed, and it's her calling me, and I'm just like, don't you know I work? Do you work? You know? Well, we all got different schedules, but goddamn, like, shit like that annoys the shit out of me. And I'm on live now, and like, she's calling, and like, oh, why you not answering the phone? Like, you know, I don't like also people who are opportunists, and I picked that up from her. Like, she seemed like she's like trying to, don't use me, right? Because she said, the first thing she said was, oh, you're an author, right? That was her message to me on Facebook, and then from there she just been like messaging me or whatever. And I'm like, I try to be nice and professional at the same time, because yes, I do own a literary organization. I promote independently published authors, right? So she was like, oh yeah, I've been trying to do this and do that. Like, I get that a lot. I get a lot of those kind of emails, and people wanting me to kind of help give them a platform, which I'm okay with that, or link them to important people. And she's like, I'm looking for a literary agent and all this, I'm just like, okay, right? And I'm telling her how I can help her, because I think people get it misinterpreted. Like, I don't make friends with my followers, right? You're not calling me. I just think it's kind of amazing that we even exchange contact information like that, because I do not do this. You get what I'm saying? Like, I keep business, right? And personal completely separate from that. I don't allow people access into my personal space at all. Going back to that damn date night from hell, dude, like, I had to completely set boundary after boundary after boundary, even like on the train. He's like, okay, well, I'll just get on this train because I'm going the same direction. Right? And he's like, I'm going to get off at 42nd Street and transfer to get on New Jersey Transit. I'm like, okay. And then he's still like very clingy. I'm just like, yo, you bye, right? And so then he reaches out as he's separating, parting ways. He's like reaching out, giving me a hug, and yo, dude, kiss me, my motherfucking, I'm trying to be nice, right? Kisses me on my motherfucking cheek, a wet kiss. Oh, like, granted, dude is physically attractive, right? But I'm just like, I can't. I'm like, yo, it reminded me, like, I see why I stay to my goddamn self, for real. Don't be afraid. You are so beautiful as you are talking. For real, you see what I'm saying? Like, shit is annoying. I don't know how y'all are when it comes to social interactions and friendships and all of that, but man. Nah, dog. Where I'm from, if you cross a person, somebody end up missing. That's just how things go. It's not the right way, but that's just how things go. You know, somebody end up missing. Either that person or somebody in their family. And like, people don't cross people like that. Like, respect is highly valued, right? Coming to an understanding is highly valued, right? Getting that shit squashed, you know, and just having genuine respect for a person. That's how we operate. All that playing and being childish and disrespectful and testing the limits and seeing, nah, dog. We don't operate like that where I'm from. So that's that. But I'm definitely about to wrap this up. I'm about to get ready for an event. Life is something else, y'all. And I'm still trying to decide, because it's just like, I think part of me, I guess because I am so closed off to people, yo. I'm very protective. When I say, yo, I've been in this space here where I live in Upper East Side, Manhattan, since September 2020, right? And only 2 people have entered this space where I live. Only 2. One is a very close friend, and the other one was this random motherfucker I was dating. But only 2, and only 2 times, right? So those 2 people each only entered my space 1 time. So that gives you an idea. Like, nobody coming here, and dude was trying to, like, he was like, all right, I'll drop you off home. Like, I'll basically ride a train with you to your stop and walk you to your, like, no, you're not walking me to my building. You are getting off the train where you need to get off so you can go to New Jersey, so you go home. And I am going my separate way. And he seemed like he was just kept trying to like test the limit. And I had to the point where I had to say, listen, if you don't get off this train, if when you call me, I am not going to answer the phone. He was like, okay. I'm just like, yo, dude, it's immature as shit. What the fuck? I was like, okay, like a little child. Okay, I'll do what you say. Nah, dog, that shit unattractive. Get your ass out my face. I said, that's like my mom. Don't look like nobody in her house, not even family. Oh, yeah, my dad. I get that from my dad. He don't fuck with nobody, y'all. He stays to himself, and people be so concerned, like, oh, you know, he by him, like, yo, he like being by himself. Leave people who like being by themselves alone. That's best for you, really, and them, but more so for you, right? Leave them people alone by themselves, because shit can get real ugly, you know. My dad loved being by himself. Like, he'll take visitors. People come by, but he don't be up in people's face. He don't be fucking with nobody like that, you know. And that's how he like it. And I got his energy in me. I don't be inviting nobody up in here. And I have, like, I go on dates and people be like, oh, well, where do you live? And, oh, we can go to your place. We can't go to my place. We're not going here. But I think if I'm seriously dating someone, like, I'm seriously dating this person, I really like them, and I've been to his place, so I have to go to your place first. And not only that, but I have to know your first and last name. I have to know your, like, I have to know you, right? Because I have no ill intent. So if I'm dating a person, dudes usually feel comfortable enough to invite me to their place or whatever. But if I come across a Looney Tune where he's like acting kind of funny and I don't know his last name, or, you know, real guarded about his personal information, then that's a wrap. Oh, you know, that's a red flag. But I have to go to your place first, and then, like, after I feel comfortable enough, I know enough about you, then okay, I don't mind. But yeah, you gotta be careful, because people are weird, and social media makes it even crazier, right? When people knowing your address and shit like that, I don't play like that. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this up, so thank you guys for tuning in. I think I'm gonna go back into my cocoon. No more spontaneous freaking dates, because you just never know, and shit can go awry, and you just like, what the hell? How did I even end up here? Like, this was not the plan, you know. And a person can seem one way, and then as the night unfolds, you just like, oh shit. What the like, what the hell, y'all? But yes, I am, like, part of me, like, is curious. And he was like, oh, can we hang out more? Like, I would like to, like, I think the only thing is this: if he can respect my boundaries, when I say no is no. Because, like, I think the reason why he brought up that question about, oh, well, what's your thoughts about, like, men and women fighting each other, and a man hitting a woman, and all, like, you put your hands on me, you're going to be hurt, and you're going to jail, okay? I'm not saying it just to say this. Listen, I have fucking evidence of this, okay? You're going to jail. Point blank. We shouldn't even have to have this conversation. That's what I'm telling him, like, yo, this isn't even a thing. If you're having a conversation wondering, he was like, but things happen. No, things do not happen. You respect me, I respect you. You respect my boundaries, I respect your boundaries. If I say no is no. If I'm telling you stop, and you can, like, don't play with me, you're going to jail. Point blank, period. And you're going to lose. Like, don't try to go to war with me. You're going to lose. You're not going to win, okay? I have too many resources. I have ties to too many people. It's not going to look good for you, right? So I feel like we shouldn't even be having conversations like this. It should be on a more positive note, right? So that, to me, I think is also a red flag, because I have too much to lose. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you guys.